So imagine I gave you a homework assignment. I asked you to put yourself in a scene in 4 different places at the same time. Well, that's the homework assignment I gave my students in my Premiere Pro class at the junior college where I teach, and I gave them assets that they could use. But I said if they want to use their own assets, if they want to shoot their own material, they'd get extra credit. Well, several students did that, but one student went way beyond what I asked for, and I'm going to show you his homework in this lesson. I'm going to show you how to use the Ultra key and the Garbage Matte key to put one person in a scene in 4 different locations. So go to Working Files, go to Projects, and scroll on down to 1404 4-way split scene. Okay, here we have an empty sequence. We're going to fill it up in a moment. Let me show you the 4 shots we're going to work with here. I'm going to take them and put them up inside the source monitor here. There we go. We're going to go look at the top one first. So here we have Bruce Philpott, the student of mine who did this homework assignment. He put himself in that shot, and in that shot, and over here, and then finally in front of this green screen, and he composited all of them into one scene using the Garbage Matte key and the Ultra key. I'm going to show you how to do that. But before I go there, let me tell you a little bit more about Bruce. I think he deserves a little bit of a plug here. This is his website, brucephilpott.com. He's a professional photographer and graphic designer. He's been doing it for a long time. And it was a real pleasure having him in my class. He was a very enthusiastic student who always came up with wonderful creative things that I just totally loved when I was grading their homework. So that's Bruce, and if you want to check out his work, there's his website. So that's the setup to this, but I do want to show you Bruce's final homework assignment. So keep in mind, this is a compositing homework assignment, and he makes a couple of jokes about compositing here. Here we go. I'll open it up here inside the source monitor, and I'll open the source monitor to full screen by pressing the tilde or the accent key while I hover over it. That brings it full screen, and here is his homework assignment. It's only a minute long, so check it out here.
Hey, what's up? The 4 of us are going to do the compositing homework. I already did the work in the book. If we film it ourselves, we get extra credit. Okay. Hey guys. Hey, what's up? Hi. Number 4. What's with the hand truck? It's for heavy compositing. Oh, sorry. How's this, Jeff?
It's pretty darn good is how it is. Hope you caught the jokes as they went by there. Did you notice a couple of things? Did you notice that when he walked out here with the hand truck, and I'll go back to full screen so you can see that. When he's walking out with the hand truck there were little problems because he came from behind person number 3. So see the little issues there by Bruce's head there as he's sitting down, little things flashing around there. When you come from behind a human being like that, you need to somehow make this layer, which is behind this one. This is on top now. This is the number 4. It's on top. This one's behind him. You need to somehow cut out a hole there so you can see what's underneath it. When you got someone's head there, especially up against a white background, it's darn hard to do that. And Bruce realized this after the fact. But he did it pretty well. He put a whole lot of garbage matte there with a lot of keyframes to try to make that work. He also created what's called a track matte to try to smooth out the head there and the shoulders as well. And we're talking about track matte keys in the next chapter. So it's quite a bit of work to try to repair that one little issue that he created by bringing his 4th actor from behind that guy's head. See how it cuts in there, a little picture cutting in there. Went by so fast you probably didn't notice it. Now you do. Also, when you shoot outdoors like this, you've got all the background noise multiplied times 4, so you hear it kind of coming up and going down as they were speaking. Another issue when you're shooting out there. There are ways to reduce the noise, and I teach you how to do that inside my Infinite Skills Audition CS6 course, if you want to check that out. And Bruce used a couple of those techniques, but there's still more things he could have done to try to get rid of that background noise. But it was pretty tough, because you're outdoors, it's near a street. Those kinds of things happen. Nevertheless, this was a superb homework assignment, and I appreciate that he's letting me use it here in this lesson. So let's start here by opening up the first clip down here on the timeline. Here's the spot where he says,
How's this, Jeff?
How's this, Jeff? And we're going to want to line that up with the rest of the shots. So we're going to put our current time indicator there and just press a marker just to kind of remind us where it is. The marker will be up there by pressing this little marker button there. This one we do nothing to. So I'm going to pull this down a bit here so you can see the next clip. Bring in number 2, put that on top, and we're going to put a garbage mat on number 2. Let me see where that audio is. Let me see, there it is right there. So you can see it's earlier. We need to move it to the right. To move a clip to the right, I can slide it like this. To do it more accurately, I can use the Alt or the Option key with the arrow key. So I'm holding on the Alt key here in Windows, the Option key in Mac. I'm clicking the left arrow to move it over now, and I'm lining that up that way. There you go. So whether I use the marker or not, I can see that's where it belongs by this guy. Let me close down the audio for here so we have a little more room. Little disclosure triangles there to open the audio or close it. Bring this down now. We need to apply a garbage mat to this clip now. So I'm going to put the garbage mat on there by going to Effects, clicking on that, going on down to Garbage Mat, which is inside Video Effects, keying. There it is. And we want a garbage mat. There are 8, 4, and 16 point garbage mats. I think the 8 point will be fine here, so I'll double click to put it on there. Click on this, go to the Effect Controls, and there it is. Click this to turn on the points. What we need to do, this clip is covering up the one below it. The one below it looks like that. And the one above looks like that. We need to cut this part away so we can see what's behind it over here. It's very easy to do that. Just pull this thing over like that. And there's Bruce. There you go. Pretty easy. Pull this guy over like that. I think you've seen this once before, so that should be old news for you there. That works. Let's bring the next clip over, number 3. We're after this guy. Bring number 3 over, put that on top. First order of business is to line up the audio again. So I'll lift this up a bit here like that. There's the audio. You can see where it is. I'm going to use the Alt or the Option key here and the arrow key to move it right. Maybe one or, oops, get this one selected. Maybe 1 or 2 frames there. That's probably enough, actually. Let's listen to them and see if they all line up here.
How's this, Jeff?
Perfect. Excellent. Well done. So we're going to put a garbage mat on his clip as well. So go there. Go to the garbage mat key under Effects. It's already lined up, ready to go. Double click to add it. There it is. Click on it to highlight it. Now we need to pull it over so we can see the 2 guys below him. We want to see this one, and then we want to see that one. So we want to pull over to see both of them. So you go back up here to see them. I'll pull this thing over. See, there's 1 and there's 2. So we'll bring this over to see them both. There you go, making this part of the area of this clip transparent. Now we're going to bump into this little control point there, so I'll pull this off to the side. When you pull it below like this, then you know for sure you got everything pulled off and you got the whole clip visible. So if you go to maybe 10, 25% or something, depends on your resolution on your computer monitor, then you can see that everything's been pulled off. You got everything showing through that you want and everything clipped off there on the right. Okay, that's good. Now, one more clip to go. Let's go back to number 4. Actually, there were 5 clips, as I mentioned. There's one where the hand truck came out and then one that came in front. So we're finishing off where the one that came in front comes in. This is going to require a green screen, the Alt key, and the garbage mat. So let's drag it over here like this. Let's line up the audio again. So scrolling down here a bit. The audio is kind of over here, it looks like. I'm going to select that. Looks like I need to move over a lot. So, oh, maybe not. Marker's right there. Slide it left, Alt left, and right. There, let's listen to it. Make sure all 4 guys are lined up here.
How's this, Jeff?
Pretty darn close enough for what we're doing here. Very good. We'll close that up a bit. What we want to do now is put the garbage mat key and the Alt key on there. So garbage mat key will be immediately accessible. So we'll add that by just double clicking it. And then we'll scroll on down to get the Alt key and drag that on there too. Oh, we got them both on there. First thing I want to do is I want to get Bruce's mouth closed. There we go. First thing I want to do is get rid of the green screen. So we'll close up the 8-point garbage mat for the time being and do the Alt key. We did this before in the previous lesson, so I'll just crash through it here. Click here. Find this dark area here. Hold on the control or the command key. Click there. You can see it is kind of fuzzy looking. Turn on the alpha channel because that makes it easier to make the mat work for us. Go through the mat generation process here one step at a time. That's too transparent. We don't want that. We don't want to get those guys in the right transparent. So we want to just make Bruce white and this black. So that didn't help much there. The highlights will help a little bit. There we go. Sooner or later, though, the shadows are going to help us out there in the bottom. But see how the bottom's kind of getting transparent there? We really don't need to worry about that because we're going to put a garbage mat there anyways. But nevertheless, just have good practice. Let's try to get that working there. Adjust the tolerance a bit. That won't help that much. But our good buddy, the pedestal, is going to bring that guy right on down to the bottom there. That looks pretty good. Let's just finish it off by looking at the mat cleanup because there'll probably be a little bit of spill around the edges here. So we switch over to the composite and let's see. Well, actually, it's not bad. It looks pretty darn good. So we'll leave it like that. But notice he's covering up that guy behind him. He didn't quite line up his chair exactly where he wanted to. So we select this, go up to motion like that. Let's move him over so we're not covering up the guy behind him like that. There you go. So you can see I'm pulling the wall with me at the same time. Obviously, we don't want that wall in there. There we go. Looks pretty good. We got the hand truck in his other face there. Maybe we should pull a little bit farther left there. What do you think? I think right about there is a tolerable place for it. We can maybe move a little, maybe right there. I'm not sure. Wherever you want to put it, we're going to cover up someone's face here to a certain degree. All right, now we need to get rid of all that stuff, including the rim of the green screen. See the rim right there? If I turn off the Ultra key, you'll see the rim right there on the edge of the green screen. So we need to get rid of that by clicking the 8-point garbage mat. It's way over here now. Need to get rid of the rim right up there. I could add another point like that, bring it up like that, and bring this other point over to make it a little more exact. And we want to get up to the corner a little bit, get these guys out of the way there. And there we have it. And now I could say we're done, but I want to do one more thing here. I want to add an adjustment layer to this. So we're going to go over here to the project panel and click on this new item icon and go to adjustment layer. Accept the defaults for the size of the sequence. Drag it on top here. And you should know the routine by now if you looked at all the color correction stuff. We've got the adjustment layer selected. We're going to add 2 effects to it, as you would expect if you did that collection of tutorials. We're going to add the Luma curve to it. First, we'll take care of the brightness and contrast. Then we're going to add the fast color corrector to take care of a little bit of a color cast there. So go here. We're going to bring down our good buddy, the reference monitor, which I always use. It's a little big here. Let's shrink it down a bit so it's not too dominant. Switch over to the waveform. You can see we need to bring up the highlights. The shadows are in pretty good shape. So I'm just going to bring up the highlights, leave the shadows pretty much alone here. Bring them up there. We got a fair amount of highlights already right there in that roof, but I want to bring up the highlights here in the front part of the image. Let's add a little bit of contrast, just a touch. There we go. Now we're going to add some warmth to the image by adding a little bit of orange to it. Let's take a look at the vector scope and see how that looks. You can see that it's kind of pulled down toward blue and cyan. Pull it up this way, just a little bit of orange just to warm it up. And there we go. I think we got it. Let's just take a look at the full screen view here and see what Bruce has to say here.
How's this, Jeff?
Pretty darn good, Bruce. So that, folks, is how you use the Ultra key and the garbage mat key and 4 different shots of the same person to put that same person in a scene in 4 different places.